When we think of philosophy, we often imagine dense books, abstract debates, or ancient professors lost in thought. But philosophy, in its purest form, is a way of living, a guide for how to move through the world with clarity, purpose, and resilience. And few philosophies exemplify that spirit as clearly and practically as Stoicism. Stoicism, born in the heart of ancient Greece and matured in the Roman Empire, is a school of thought that teaches us how to live well, no matter the external circumstances. It asks timeless questions. What can we control? How should we respond to suffering? What makes a good life? At its core, Stoicism is about strength. Not the kind measured in muscle or force, but a quieter, deeper strength. The kind that allows a person to face chaos with calm, to meet loss with dignity, and to greet success with humility. It's a philosophy of inner fortitude. Let's start with the origins. The Stoic tradition began with Zeno of Citium, a merchant from Cyprus who, after surviving a shipwreck, wandered into Athens and stumbled upon a bookstore. There, he read about Socrates and was so moved that he sought out philosophers to learn more. Eventually, Zeno began teaching his own ideas in the public colonnade known as the Stoa Poikile, or painted porch, from which the philosophy gets its name, Stoicism. Stoicism teaches that the path to a good life lies in cultivating virtue and living in harmony with nature. But when the Stoics said, nature, they didn't just mean forests and rivers. They meant the rational, ordered nature of the universe, the logos. To live according to nature is to align oneself with reason, with justice, with the natural order of things. Now, let's explore the three main Roman Stoics whose writings have endured the centuries and continue to inspire millions around the world: Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Seneca, a wealthy Roman statesman, playwright, and advisor to Emperor Nero, wrote with both elegance and urgency. His letters are filled with practical advice: how to manage anger, how to appreciate time, how to face death. He once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He recognized that much of human suffering stems not from what happens, but from how we interpret what happens. His Stoicism is not about detachment or emotionlessness, it's about clarity. It's about cutting through illusion and focusing on what truly matters. Epictetus, on the other hand, had a vastly different life. Born a slave, he eventually gained his freedom and taught philosophy in Rome before being exiled to Greece. Unlike Seneca, Epictetus wrote nothing down himself. What we know of his teachings comes from his student, Arrian, who compiled his lectures into the Discourses and the famous Enchiridion, or Handbook. Epictetus emphasized one fundamental idea: that some things are in our control and others are not. He urged us to focus our energy only on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our choices. It's not what happens to you, he said, but how you react to it that matters. Now, if you're enjoying this journey through Stoic wisdom and want more content like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who'd appreciate a little ancient insight for modern life. Your support helps keep this kind of meaningful content going strong. Alright, back to the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king and Roman emperor, commanded the greatest empire in the world, yet still struggled with doubt, anxiety, and loss. His meditations, written not for publication but as a personal journal, reveal a man striving to live with integrity in the face of enormous responsibility. You have power over your mind, not outside events, he wrote. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus's words are humble, reflective, and deeply human. He wrestled with his emotions, questioned his own motivations, and constantly reminded himself to live simply, justly, and gratefully. So what does Stoicism teach us, practically speaking? First, it tells us to separate what we can control from what we can't. This is the foundation. We can't control other people's opinions, the economy, the weather, or the passage of time. But we can control our own beliefs, our reactions, our decisions. This clarity is liberating. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we reclaim our energy and focus it where it matters. Second, Stoicism encourages us to accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This doesn't mean passivity or indifference. It means engaging with the world as it is, responding wisely and constructively rather than emotionally or impulsively. The Stoics practiced a mental exercise called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, where they would visualize potential hardships in advance. Not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare their minds to face anything with equanimity. Third, Stoicism holds virtue as the highest good. For the Stoics, a good life isn't defined by wealth, fame, or comfort. It's defined by character, by wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Everything else is indifferent. That doesn't mean Stoics didn't care about money or relationships. It means they didn't let those things determine their happiness. A Stoic could be rich or poor, successful or obscure, in power or in exile, and still be at peace, so long as they lived with virtue. Another powerful idea in Stoicism is the concept of memento mori, remember you must die. This isn't meant to be morbid. It's meant to sharpen our focus. Life is fleeting, and we don't know how much time we have. So we should not waste it. The Stoics saw death not as a tragedy, but as a natural part of life. And by facing the inevitability of death, they sought to live more fully. Stoicism also teaches the value of negative visualization. Imagine losing what you have, not to cause suffering, but to awaken gratitude. Picture your loved ones, your home, your health, your freedoms, and imagine them gone. How would you feel? Now, return to the present, and feel the richness of what you still possess. This is how Stoicism trains the mind toward contentment. It's worth noting that Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion or pretending to be unbothered. That's a common misconception. Stoics feel joy, sadness, love, frustration. But they aim not to be ruled by those emotions. The Stoic ideal is not the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. In today's world, Stoicism is seeing a major revival. Entrepreneurs, athletes, soldiers, artists, and everyday people are rediscovering the power of Stoic principles. The writings of Marcus Aurelius are bestsellers 2,000 years after his death. Books like The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday have introduced Stoic wisdom to a new generation. Why? Because Stoicism works. It provides a stable foundation in a chaotic world. It teaches us how to be calm in crisis, strong in adversity, and humble in success. It reminds us that happiness doesn't come from changing the world, but from changing how we relate to it. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to read about, it's one to practice. It's in how we respond when we're insulted, when plans fall apart, when we're afraid, when we're tempted to act from ego or resentment. Stoicism calls us to step back, reflect, and choose the higher path. And perhaps that's what makes Stoicism so timeless. It doesn't ask us to retreat from life or seek some perfect peace outside of it. Instead, it invites us to face life head-on, to rise each day with discipline, courage, and clarity. To treat each moment as a chance to grow in virtue. To remember that we are not disturbed by things, but by our judgments of things. To live as a Stoic is to live deliberately. To ask, again and again, what is in my control? What is the right thing to do? How can I be of service? And how can I meet the trials of life with dignity, wisdom, and grace? That is the Stoic path. Not always easy, but always worth walking.